And look at Frankovich coming back, something with his finger. Should keep an eye on that.
You'll see how that affects him as this game goes on. Wow, David.
But here, if you're the Hawks, get a good stop, get your feet planted, and get back possession of this game.
Wide open three-pointer, that's good. David Gomez Jr. So far, 65 over the last 2 games, absolutely incredible.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Gomez, a nice shot, insurmountable. Vincent Simon, get the chance started here.
The Humber Hype Squad.
Three-pointer there, David Gomez. Coming the other way now are the Saints, led by Miles Hall. Gomez now looking inside. Pass right up to Hall. Fights through contact, no bucket. Coming off the bench the first quarter, already with 2 fouls, and he got pulled immediately after that one. So we'll see how his minutes are handled in late stages of this game. He's been a big part of that team coming off the bench.
For sure.
Looking for Payawal. He's being guarded tightly, though. Pass up to the hoop, that one swatted away. Petty coming up with that one, pass it up to David Gomez Jr. Gomez stops up for the 2, and he makes.
Trailing by 4 right now. It's 48-44 for the side of Dawson. St. Clair trying to battle back here.
Gomez. Harmon, pass up to David Gomez Jr. Goes inside, pass it off to Josiah Dare. Gets. Harmon, shot clock at 8. Gomez wide open for 3, that's good. Henderson's style shot, no good off the back of the rim. Here comes Harmon for St. Clair. Trying to turn this back into a 1-possession ball game. Going to the hoop strong. Going to Vincent Simon for 3, no good.
High rainbow arch, get over the defender, but rebound here by the Saints.
Gomez for 3, that's good. Saints right back on offense. Still down by 7. Shot clock at 10. Gomez deep 3. Good. Nothing but. Here's Hall. Gomez, the All-Canadian. Passing it back out to Dare outside 3. Good.
And Henderson, Odom slicing in, and Henderson just sitting under that hoop waiting for the offensive board.
Gomez going inside, puts it up. That's good.
Nice work there by Gomez, working against Cam.
St. Clair in possession. Shot clock down at 12. Gomez fighting his way inside, puts it up.
Yes, sir.
That one rolls in.
Chad Vincent Simon had some heat trying to throw that off Zinnerman. They're still going at it.
Gomez going inside for the.
Needed on the offensive glass. He has been there, a little bit inconsistent with the finishes, though.
Gomez, long 2, makes that one. Saints up by 9. That's their largest lead of the game. Dare misses it, but Vincent Simon right there for the rebound. Gomez going inside. Pass off to Petty. Petty going up. He gets the bucket. Henderson, that's blocked.
Huge work inside by Jalen Harmon against the big man Henderson. Chad, a handful of possessions have been Cameron Gay. He's going to try to take this over.
Gomez gets fouled and 1 as he makes the basket.
Dan Zimmerman doesn't like it. He has been going. The Saints and their fans could taste it 3 minutes away from the gold medal match.
David Gomez, how about that bucket for the All-Canadian?
With their warm-ups off, they are ready to get out on the floor and celebrate. What a moment for St. Clair College.
I think all these stars are about to come off. Gomez sinks a 3-pointer. 28 points.
Terrence Williams finds his man Vincent Simon wearing a headband after a gash sustained to the head in yesterday. Gonna drive baseline, knocked away. Gomez Jr. in transition. Spot up for 3. Yes, nothing but.
4-possession lead here for Humber. They've had a great first quarter.
Gomez makes a move, draws contact. He'll go to the line and 1. As Kevin O'Toole flying down the hardwood. Gomez Jr. working off the screen. Corner 3. Looks into the corner, finds Chambers. DQ top of the arc, that one knocked away. David Gomez Jr. gonna take it himself, goes through DQ. Inside, Vincent Simon dishes. Gomez Jr. tough bucket and corner. Nice D by the Saints. Here comes St. Clair with numbers. Taking it out for Raheem Dennis. Let's see what Hall could do for the Saints. Around the horn they go. Gomez Jr. 3-ball. 67. 1 minute remains. Cathcart can't get that to drop. Keith Laria trying to find it. Can't. Gomez Jr. Plenty of Saints there. He's going to go for 3. And he drains it. Huge shot, David Gomez Jr.
Area. Even with the defender right on him in the corner. Almost got that in. That takes a lot of skill.
Absolutely. And Drew is again. We see Hall coming up short there. Offensive rebound for the Saints. A groan. What a matchup that is. Harmon. No. Offensive rebound. Gomez. Yes. Load in. Knocked away. Chance here. Gomez Jr. He's got all the time in the world. Cathcart tried to get to.
As the shot clock was winding down. Gomez Jr. now being watched closely.
Wide open for 3. No good. Williams again keeping active, touching that one for the rebound. Gomez Jr. transition 3, yes! Finishing strong, 15 points. Outside for 3, under a minute to go and no good. Deere adds another rebound to his stat line. Gomez Jr. chucks it up for 3, wide open, wide. In turn, Gomez Jr. picking up and allows that defense to set. 3-2 look this time for Lampton. Gomez Jr. the swing around. St. Clair quickly pushing up the tempo to respond immediately. Harmon outside, swung back to the low post, spinning around Gomez Jr. Fadeaway shot, this time it falls.
Going to say when it comes to shot attempts, they average plenty of them. 72.7 so far for St. Clair in the season per game. 81 attempts for Humber.
Fadeaway shot, Gomez Jr. tries to pump. The up and in.
Gomez Jr. trying to find a way to cut on in. Spark it on up. What a spin. What a roll.
Youth layup. Gomez Jr. goes for the fadeaway jumper again. It's good.
Can't stop Humber. Whether Humber goes to the basket or shoots a 3, they can't stop them.
Gomez Jr. Gomez Jr. sizing up. Jump shot. Punt of the season. Moved about. Around the outside. Back inside. Gomez gives it to Muslim. Pass to Lopez. Gomez Jr. 3 in response. Yes, sir! It's coming from Sheridan. Just past 90 seconds into the third. Gomez Jr. the roll, the cut, the foul. Gomez Jr. moving it on up. Bullet pass. Scott Jackson off the bounce yet.
And it's up. And it's the first 3 points for Niagara is with Radabanko. Let's see if St. Clair can knock on that door again, and they do. This is it. Gomez Jr. with the ball. With the 3-pointer. Great job. Just a quick pass.
The 3-ball.
Gomez Jr. with the 3. Just not quite able. Let's see if the Knights can deter this lead, and Missoula. Gomez Jr. driving. Quick little 3. Missoula crossing half for the Saints. Gomez Jr. just lobbed it so far with his team. Gomez Jr., let's see where he can capitalize, and he can.
Or you're going to lose. So you better start playing some defense if you're St. Clair.
On the floor for St. Clair. Also along with David Gomez Jr. Lined up with Williams. Lined up along with the bouncer. 0.6 minutes per game. Started with a couple minutes on the season. Long three, no. Graham. Gomez Jr. sheds off a man like a coat for the rebound. Drives it in and draws the end one. Count it. The Mountaineers trying to rush back immediately. Gomez Jr. The contact and the layup. Gomez Jr. the 5 for St. Clair. Gomez Jr. steps in, off to Williams. For 3, yes! Foster chips away the gap to 6, bursts the bubble finally. 2:20 to go, down to 2:17 in the first half. Gomez Jr. stepping around, long jumper, it's good for 2. Pick and fade outside. It's got Jackson, back to Gomez Jr. Back over to Vincent Simon, back to Gomez Jr. Chucks it up for 3. He makes it drop! Williams calls for motion, Petty. Gomez Jr. Looking to move in on the drive, fading back, gets the bucket. Picked up on the rebound again by St. Clair, second chance, fresh 14. Full-time drain here. Gomez Jr. drive. Floater good.
With 5 points. Gomez Jr., a great effort to steal here. He'll go to the basket and lay it. Simon moves the ball up, sends it over to Gomez Jr. Jr. A fadeaway as he Jr. Oh my, Jr.
Ooh.
Jr. Shaking and rattling it to go. Saints come up with the loose ball. This is David Gomez Jr. Deere, his three-point attempt doesn't fall. Good job by Gomez Jr. to get it back. He decides to take the jumper and hits a good one. Saints will take it. Jr. drives, lays up, and just like that,
2 years ago. He sets things up along the outside. Gomez Jr. pulls up for 3 off the pass. Yes, sir! Backing it off for the 3 to King. They watch the box out, picked up by St. Clair with Lewis on the floor, lined up with Dorman, the 5. Watches the drive inside for the bucket for St. Clair by Gomez Jr. Back off to Williams. Intercepted! Right to Pasley. Pasley stripped back. Taken away. Gomez Jr. looks to pass it away. Takes the jumper instead. Count it! And the foul! Gomez Jr. pumps, drives, floats, gets the roll. This time it bounces in. King. Crowning the defense there. 7-point lead still for the Saints. Gomez Jr. trying to bring it to 9. Yes! Calmer tempo from both sides in this second half. Josiah Deere finds Lopez. Lopez goes high post. Gomez Jr. goes triple, yeah. Moved off to Williams, to Gomez Jr. 4 on the shot clock. Pass to Lopez. Has to get it up. Yes! Scoring for St. Clair off the bench, by the way, after 10 points in the third quarter alone. Gomez Jr. with 20. But 3 rebounds and 2 steals. Jumper, good. Gomez Jr. Still a 22-point advantage, 101-79, 4:24 to go in the fourth. Gomez Jr. It on back around. Petty shuffles it over to Gomez Jr. Avoids the reach. Steps on ahead to the drive. It's a run to start for the Wolves. Gomez Jr. launch in. Mamacita watches it go for the fadeaway. It drops. Gomez Jr. at the buzzer. Side in spurts. Second free throw missed. St. Clair with an air chance. Petty over to Gomez Jr. Moves it over to Deere. Can he use those threes to his advantage? Scored by St. Clair. Shoveled over to Gomez Jr. Drive inside. Miss. On with the rebound in the final minute of play in the second quarter. The alley-oop, the slam! Harden off the inbound. Back to Gomez Jr. from the pass. Shot, no good. Now it bounces in. Around, Vincent Simon to Deere for three. No, too strong. Gomez Jr. though keeps it alive for a second chance. Tries to spin it around. The lean back, it's good!